May I please ask for the active duty members of the U.S. Armed Forces, the veterans, and elected officials, please stand up for one brief moment, please. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to ask these very same individuals to raise their right hands once again, because I want you to see something and take a good look at the people that are standing right now with their hands up. I am with you, ladies and gentlemen. It wasn't too long ago where I raised my right hand, and upon serving our country for the first time, I took an oath to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and I call to action these veterans and elected officials to continue under that oath so that we can remain a free people. Thank you very much. And I'm going to give you one more message. Be very, very careful, Americans. We are the people, but be very, very careful. I've traveled the world quite extensively. I've seen countries that don't have our same freedoms. I've seen passive citizens just move along when authorities tell them to move along, and to remain silent when those same authorities tell them to remain silent. There is a strategy here that you need to know about. In order to take over a whole population of over 309 million American people, you have to first divide them. Do you understand that? The country needs to be divided first before you can overtake that country. This is not just about owning a gun to defend yourself against a home invasion or a thug on the street. It's much more than that, and you know that. The debates that I'm seeing on the social networks, on the airwaves, in the print and advertising, I'm seeing a control of people through a very slow process called brainwashing. A culture of people are being changed right now very slowly. I refer to this as the slow boil. If you want to cook a bunch of frogs, throw them in a pot of water, keep the water at the room temperature, and slowly turn it up a notch. The frogs will not move. They will slowly die until they're now boiling. That's what we're under, a slow boil. Now, I have two calls of action to you. The first went out to the veterans to remain diligent and to continue to fight for the Constitution. The Second Amendment, if it were not for the Second Amendment, the other amendments would not be there. It's the Second Amendment that allows us to hold on. You know that's true. You'll not be clapping. And I also want to tell you, do your best to unite all Americans. This is not a party line drawn in the sand to protect a right to hold a gun in your back pocket or in your home. This is more than that. We need, as ambassadors to our own country, we need to go out there and unite the population. It doesn't start with a debate. It starts with a handshake. It starts with educating people. It starts with reviewing history like we heard from Patrick Henry. I'm telling you, I was behind stage and tears were coming out of my eyes. Some of you were there with me. I felt I was back listening to that man talk about give me freedom or give me death. I felt I was there. I hope it could only light the fire in you. My call to action, again, is not just to show up at a rally and feel you've done your job. See, this is just the beginning. We have the right to assemble peacefully. That's what we're doing. Do you see any loud protests? Do you see any people yelling and screaming that were just a bunch of crazy folks out here? No, you don't see that. This is a peaceful assembly. But it starts with the peaceful assembly. The action takes place tomorrow and the next day and the next day. It's not just you're posting your opinion on some social network or Facebook that counts. That does nothing unless you back it with action. And let me tell you what happened. I was in Canada, in Montreal, going through the airport to my event up there. I go to the airport. There's 5 people in line, including myself. I was surrounded by 15 security people. 15 to 5. Now, that's not what we're talking about here today, but I'm telling you, when the Second Amendment is gone, we will lose all of our other freedoms. You will be dominated. So my call to action once again is to remain diligent and keep the pressure on, not just today, not even just next year or to the next election. We as people have to recreate this culture with a passion and a fire that's never happened since Patrick Henry. We need those people back. That's the best that I can do from this stage right now. This is one person talking into one microphone, but I could only hope that there's at least 5 or 10 people in here that feel the way I do and will take action to organize and continue to amass the people so that we are absolutely heard at every level of government. Thank you.